Good afternoon.
Yeah,
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
very good afternoon. Yeah, it's afternoon only. Good to see everyone once again. So it's like I always look forward to see you people. Okay, great. So today, I mean, first of all, how was your exercise which you did? Is it good, bad? I mean, did you get something out of it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Good, fantastic, fantastic. Good. That's the main objective, in fact, you know. So I was just trying to recall what exactly we have gone through so far. Okay. So like we started with our a visual communication, which was a semantics. Okay, the very first one. And then on the second, in the second session, we had done the changed fashion, you know, over the period, how it had started, where it has gone up to, and what is the future. That's all. I mean, we just spoke about it. So basically, what it exactly, if you see in both the session, what was there? In both the session, there was something called the vernacular or vernacularism. Okay, that was there. Now, what this word is, people who have done the architecture, they will be able to understand what I'm trying to say. Okay, vernacularism is basically something which is like an old, you know, okay, it's an old culture, okay, and how it is getting evolved over the period. So you take a legacy with you, okay, so that's what it is. Now, when I talk about like today's session, so today's session is basically, it is something like a grassroots level understanding of it. It is again directing towards the design only. Okay, but what we need to do, we need to have the environmental perception, because that's very, very much essential and important for all of us. Because if we do design without having the understanding of our vernaculars subject, okay, we will be just simply blank, and we will not be doing the justification to our work which we are doing. So in this case, this word you will be keep on hearing today, vernacularism, vernacular. Okay, so what exactly you'll be able to, I will just give you the brief idea of it. Okay, so what is environmental perception, and what is the study, and why is it required? As I told you, it's a grassroots level study of the design, and that's where you start from. So our predecessors, they were doing something. They were in the society. Society was evolved, and people, they were forming their own systems. Okay, every region has had their own communities. Every region had their own small places. Then it was getting broken down to the villages. Okay, and sub areas. So everywhere there was there was some kind of a signature style of that particular place, that particular area. So taking those further and evolving it, that is what the design which has led up to so far. Okay, so now today I will be sharing this, what I've made a presentation with you people, for you people. Just a minute. Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Great, fantastic. Why is it not getting? I think it should be now. Correct. Now it's full screen, I guess. It's full screen, I guess, right?
Yes, yes.
Great. Okay. So what is environmental studies? Okay. So it includes the science. Okay. And it's basically a science. It's an interaction of the human system, the nature species, which are staying along with you, and the subjects, the policy, the economics, the literature, the ethics, the ethos of that particular area, you know, where a person is staying, living, or visiting, or becoming one of the habitant of the same, you know. So that is the environmental study, and it goes deep root in the grassroots level. So matter of fact, if I give you the example, the best way of studying the environment, when you are immersive in the environment rather than just being the visitor. So you be there, you spend yourself some time, give some time, be part of it, and then you will be able to justify. Okay, so good designers, what they do, especially the craft people who are into the craft, okay, who have got this passion for the craft, all the good designers, they spend their almost whole life with the craftsmen. They stay there, they be with them, they become part of their lifestyle. So even if when they are coming back to the metro cities, they will be carrying something or the other as a legacy from these rural sectors. So what they do, they just give them the system, they just give them the direction or the linguistic, you know, this a tool, you know, to communicate with the words, few jargons. But at the same time, what they take from there, their skills, and they channelize it in a similar manner the way it is needed in the market around, okay, in the metro cities or wherever, which fetches them a good business. So that's how it's a barter system between a designer and the craftsman. So as I said, for being up to that level and to justify, one needs to be immersive in the same system, should not be just the visitor, okay. Now, carrying it forward, so I thought, because it's a very vast subject, you know, environmental studies. So I thought, let me just encapsulate or just to, you know, pinpoint at a particular subject, okay, which would be related somewhere or the other in our interiors or architecture, you know, that's all. So vernacular architecture, I spoke about this, what exactly it is. It is derived from the Latin word, okay, vernacular word is it's a Latin word which is vernaculus. Vernaculus means it's local, it's local, it reflects the characteristics of the local environment. It beat anything, okay. It can be food, it can be tradition, it can be customs, it can be anything. So it reflects. And why is it, and what is the meaning of it? It actually it imbibes, it binds the community. That's what the vernacular characteristics are. And what is the architecture of the vernacular? So if I say vernacular architecture, if I will just give you an example, you must have seen in Northeast, people, they have their chalets, okay. These chalets are based on the bamboos. So they make everything out of bamboo. So no matter what, how old, big, or you know the dynasty has been, people, they still will be using the bamboo. It will be a different form now, it will be more evolved, but at the same time, it's a bamboo, the basic characteristics remains the same. Or if you see a very much evolved technological driven kind of an architecture or the house, it still will be having that traditional you know, the touch over there. And that's what the vernacularism is in the architecture of that particular area. Anyway, Northeast, I'm really afraid to touch upon that subject because it's a project by its own. If I talk about it, if I write something, no, I think my life is not enough for me. You know, it's like that. So it's a really vast subject. So what I will be doing, I will be taking you to little different areas today, not Northeast, because this is the best. It's like an encyclopedia by its own to read or to go through. So what are the characteristics of vernacular architecture, if I say so? So first of all, it is not an intentional kind. When I'm saying intentional means like what we do in today's time. We have an architect, we have engineers, we have got civil engineers, they all come together, designers, all of them, they come together, they place it, they plan, they do the, you know, the urban planning, and they put it together. So that is just an architecture or the modern architecture, but it is not a vernacular architecture. Vernacular architecture does not have any kind of planning as such. It is not an intentional. It is more of a need-based. Okay, जरूरत ही आविष्कार की जननी है. So that's what it is. आवश्यकता ही आविष्कार की जननी है. That's how the vernacular aspect had come into the architecture. So I will take you through some examples. You will be able to relate much more or much profoundly what I'm trying to establish out here. Now it is, as I said, it is not intentional. It is not consciously planned by the professional. It is done by some, maybe the local people itself. Okay, and they do it. They put it together, and this is design, or this is put together for the local need. okay, as per the climatic, and the biggest factor happens to be the climatic factor over there. And it shows somewhere or the other, it shows the climatic, it shows the cultural manifestation at the same time. Like maybe you can have some kind of graffiti, some motifs which is being run over there, some auspicious animal which is engraved everywhere, you know, in every house. So these, so what it shows, what does it show? It shows that there is some kind of cultural manifestation is also there in the vernacular architecture, and then it is carried forward. Now there are different kind of vernacular architectures. I will not get into the details of it. I will just give you what are those as a headline, because otherwise it will be a different chapter altogether. Now it is domestic, it is agricultural, industrial, and the religious. So these are four kind of different vernacular architectures which you come across, which you have. Now let me just correlate it with our Indian climate, with our Indian architecture. So in India, we are having 5 different kind of climates, if I categorize them very specifically. So one is hot and dry climate, which you experience when you go to Jodhpur, Jaisalmer, and all these places. Okay, and towards in the Kutch side as well. Okay, Bhuj and Bhujodi. That's exactly like, I mean, this is absolute dry and very hot place. So that is one kind of a climate. The second one is warm and humid climate. Now, which is this one? Warm and humid, which is throughout the year, which is your Bombay, Chennai, Mangalore. So these are the areas which are absolutely humid and warm at the same time. There is another kind of climate, which is composite climate, which is like it is completely dependent on other neighboring states' climate altogether. If I give you an example, like say Jaipur, uh, Delhi, Kanpur, these are the areas, Lucknow and all. So शिमला में बर्फ पड़ती है तो दिल्ली का टेम्परेचर ठंडा हो जाता है, ठीक है? So it is like that. So it is a very composite kind. So it has got all 3 seasons put together. So you cannot define it as a particular climate is being run throughout 365 days. No. Then there is another climate which is a moderate kind of a climate. It is not too shivering, too deadly shivering kind of a climate. At the same time, it is not absolute scorching bite kind of a heat. It's a very moderate kind. So if I give an example, something like Kodaikanal is one, then Bangalore is another one which you can talk of. Pune also comes under the same kind of a umbrella as a moderate climate. Then you have the cold climate, which is like an extreme cold. And if I say summer will be hardly by just कहने को, it will be like a summer, but it is not a summer exactly. Summer is also very moderate kinds over there. So which is like Shimla, Ladakh, and Kashmir. So these are like cold places, correct? Now, as I told you, vernacular architecture, what's that? It's basically, it's correlated with because I told you, it's very, very important to understand that the direct correlation of the climate is with the vernacular architecture, direct. Okay, because there is a practical aspect which needs to be looked into. So now if I talk about the very first one, so hot and dry climate, places like Jaipur, Jodhpur, not Jaipur, but Jodhpur and Jaisalmer, or Kutch, Bhuj, Bhujodi, and these places. So what is there? There the architecture is made out of the local material which is available. Now, first of all, we need to understand, if we have this kind of a climate, what would be the material like? Because hardly you will get to see any a very abundance of vegetation or abundance of greenery. You will be seeing that somewhere or the other, some shrubs are there, some herbs are coming, just jutting out kinds. Okay, so most it's like dry sand, and you will get a red sand over red clay over there. Okay, and you will be having bajra kind, jo sukha hua hota hai, those kind of things you will be getting. So thorny kind of vegetation you will get. So paddies, bajra paddies and all. So what happens? These local people, they came up with the architecture which in which these local material will be used for the construction. So if you see on the top, like how this dried grass, it is kept over there tied together with the ropes, and then you have these chalk in the front, and then you have the very small doors. Now why small doors? The reason, because in these areas there is a dust storm takes place, and this storm is very ferocious kind. In order to save their house, themselves, they made the doors very small, number one. Secondly, if you see the houses, they were like, they could understand this. They had a sense of direction, very good sense of direction. So east will be like where your windows will be opening, but west side there will not be. I mean, there would not be much of a window or much of an opening in that side. Much, not. It will be small kind of a ventilator, but not a very big, large windows or something. The reason, because from the west, okay, when the sun goes from east to west side, it's going that side. So it, in the afternoon time or throughout the day, the maximum will, the sun rays will be pouring in, and that will be making their house much more warmer from the outside. So that's how it's put together. And the thick bricks, which will be thick walls, will be used to ensure that not too much of penetration of the heat will be coming in. So that's all. And what happens, the storm which goes, if you say these the houses were made parallel to the storm direction, which is east and west is the stormy direction mostly. So they will be made parallel to the same direction, so that they will have a less damage or less sand getting collected inside. Okay, so these are very well taken. These are very picked up kind of a things, which in our modern architecture also the architects pick these from our old vernacular architectures, and then put it together in other new forms. Now, if you see, there's another from here. If you go there, what is happening? I mean, again, a little bit of decoration which has come out here, which talks about the kind of a culture of the same society. Like this is like a chalk where you have a pot wheel kinds, which is in the front. So it has become a decorative piece. Then in the front you've got pots, which has become it's like a wall in the front. So it becomes like a decorative piece, but at the same time it is got a functional to making sure that no animal is just barging inside the house in the porch area. And then there are some graffitis which are around the windows. Okay, so if you see the way the color has been chosen, is very white, very white kind of a, why? Because there's a base color is very contrasting, so it jumps up. So these are small details which always need to be picked up. Now if I go to the next one, which is warm and humid climate. So in warm and humid climate, I will take you towards like we have Chennai, we have got Bengal, we have got Mangalore. These are the areas which are like throughout they are humid, and that's why the vegetation is you will get to see them as lush green all the time. If you ever go there, you will see them lush green because of the like almost like 80-90% of humidity in the environment. So it's very humid, but at the same time warm as well. Now what? And because of that, these areas become prone to the rainfall. Too much of rainfall happens here, very much. So that becomes now in Rajasthan, the problem happens to be of the sandstorm and the dust. But here the problem happens to be the rain. So what to do? So there are different kind of, if you see these houses which have been made. So that's very interesting to see. If I show you this one, it's a very old kind of an architecture. So these roofs which you see, these roofs are known as a Bangla roof. Okay, so there are different kind of roofs. So I'm just picking a few of them for you. So one of them is Bangla roof. Now what is this Bangla roof? If I take you there, see, this Bangla roof is having the rich which is curvaceous ridge, which comes like this and goes towards at the corner, okay, corner of the house. So it is completely curvaceous. Now, there is a sharp corner there's a cornice. So what is this? What does it suggest? I'm sure it must be having some function, because these are all functional based, all the architectures, the vernacular one. The reason is because the rain comes and water has got a tendency to get, uh, to get rolled down completely. If wherever it gets a little bit of area to get stagnant, it will get stopped there. Otherwise, it will be keep on rolling. So these ridges and the curve, it ensures that the roof, the water falls on it and gets collected with these ridges and comes out here, pours from the corner, not from this front. Can you see that? So that's what, like धागे के ऊपर हम एक पानी की बूंद डाल दो तो क्या होता है? It makes its own path and goes down, because it needs to have that medium, that path to travel on. And that exactly the same happens out here, where the ridge becomes a path for the raindrops, and it gets collected, accumulates at the corner and falls down. So very beautifully designed and very simplistically designed, this one. Now, what all have been used out here? The material, which is a composite material, which you see out here, this is all local material available, which means you've got paddies, rice paddies put together, mud, cow dung, all these put together. Okay, they have been, the roof has been made. Same, then you've got another kind of roofing, which is called the thatch roofing. Thatch roofing is another traditional roofing, okay, which is again, it is made of a dry vegetation such as straw and the reed, the sage, and like those kind of roof coverings are done with a different roofing. So thatch happens to be one of them. It's like sloped on both sides, and it is made out of, as I told you, it is made out of the straws and the dry leaves and the dry vegetation. Then there is another kind of there's another kind of roof which is called the shala roof. Okay. Now, what is shala roof? It is this kind of a roof, okay, which has got a multi-layers, like couple of layers on top of each other. You see that? It is made out of the bamboos, because there's so much of timber which is there, and timber also the bamboo one I'm talking about maximum. Bamboo is there, and the paddies are there, straws are there, all these put together. That's how these are made. If you see, now see inside how the bamboos have been used, the dry leaves are used, okay, and these ropes are basically, these are like creepers. So creepers, when it is in the green form, okay, you cut them, it's in the green form, they are very flexible. You tie them around and let it be for some time. Once it gets dried, now you cannot take it off. So it becomes like it's a permanent rope. So these are the technologies which people have picked up. I mean, they evolved over the period. And if you talk about the wall, how the walls were made by putting the bamboos in the middle, and the bamboo and the wood, they were used as a frame. Some frame was made for the walls, and then put the cow dung, mud, okay, the clay and all put onto the wall. So why? So that inside the temperature remains cooler as compared to the outside. And the porch, it was all lipai putai jo hota hai cow dung se, wo hota tha, because it has a tendency of keeping the house cool during the summertime. Now, if I talk about so we talked about the hot places like Rajasthan. We talked about places like which are wet areas, okay, which are like humid and dry, so-called Bengal and the Bangalore, Chennai. These are the places. But now we are talking about the cold climatic places, which are Shimla, Ladakh, and Kashmir. Okay, so where you will see throughout the temperature remains the same almost. only for maybe 1.5 months kind. There will be a summer, but that will be a very moderate summer. Especially, in fact, in Delhi, it will be like it will be coming in the cold season. It will be like more of a, so there's a difference between these. Huge difference in the climate, if I say. So now this is very interesting the way because I'd been to Ladakh around say almost like a couple of years back, yeah, almost couple of years back. So I was like shocked to see the way people were living over there and the way they have the kind of ecosystem they have generated to save themselves from this deadly cold, biting cold. Believe me, the breeze which blows over there and the winds they blow, they are like 120 miles per hour kind of a speed. And when they hit your face with the -degree temperature or 0 degree temperature, you are like, you will go mad. It hits on your brains. It's like that sharp. So just imagine people who have been jailifying that throughout their life, what happens to them. I I said, I don't know, because I was next to that lake, the one which is in Three Idiots movie. I don't know what is that lake called. Pangong Lake, right? Pangong. So that Pangong Lake, there it was a breeze. It was breezing like crazy, and I had to literally turn my back that side. Okay, I could not bear it. I was walking back towards on the back side. It was like that bad. So I said, my goodness, let me just get onto my vehicle as quickly as possible. Otherwise, I'm going to die. Seriously, it was that bad. But anyways, so let's talking about the architecture. Let's carry it forward. So there I stayed in one of the hotel, I remember. So now I understand. Now I understood why it was the way it was. Okay, when I was doing the study. Okay, there were like lots of trees like this around that hotel, and these trees, what do they do? These trees, they protect the house from the strong winds. So they become like a first shield. So now whatever the wind will be going, it will be like 25% only which will be hitting to your house. So rest will be taken care by the trees. Now, again, these walls which were made, they were like really thick walls. Thick means really, really thick walls. So what happens? It takes some time for either heat to come out of the house or the cold to penetrate inside the house. It really takes time because of the thickness of the wall. So this is one part. Now the windows and all, they were made in such a way that the maximum, I mean, the wind should not be there in that side. Wind, wherever the wind direction will be, windows will not be that side. Windows will be other side. So that's how they try to manage the entire architecture. Now, talking about the Shimla part. Okay, now there is another thing also, that in this area in Ladakh, you hardly get to see the rain. So yeah, I did not see these kind of slopey roofs and all. I saw mostly flat roofs there. The reason, because it is not required. It's actually not required. And sorry. Then you have this another architecture, which if I take you forward a little, so in Shimla, there is the way it is made, the walls. Okay, again, it's very, very, very cold area. So there is something called Katkhuni wall. What is Katkhuni wall now? So Katkhuni wall is, again, it's a different treatment of the wall. Okay, which means the purpose happens to be that cold should not be penetrating inside the house. So how it can be? It can be resisted for a long time. So for that, what they do, they put the lot of timber inside in between, and then they have a gravel in between. They undressed rocks, okay, and the stones in between, and then they put some mud inside. So what happens due to this? All the revels or all the undressed stone, they get intact at one place due to these timbers which is running throughout in between the walls. This is one part. And then on top of it, they build their roofs. If I show you, this is the roof, okay? And these are all slopey roofs. It has got a slope. The reason because due to the snow, okay, like a snowfall, so snow tends to get stuck at one place. So due to the slope, it tends to fall down. They just shake it once and everything comes down. So that's all. That is the, so this is again, I told you, what is this? This is being picked up from the society long time back, okay, when people, they started making their uh, uh, houses, and it was all due to the climate, because it was a need, and it was a need, that's how they evolved. And later on what happened, it was taken more further, technologically it was embedded. So now what is the technology? So as I say, vernacular is more of the need based, more of the local climatic based. Traditional is when you put some kind of an ornamentation into it, some kind of culture also gets involved into it. So where vernacular is completely as a functional, but here it's more of a little design aesthetic is also getting amalgamated. That's where the traditional is also getting amalgamated. So that becomes a traditional architecture. That's the difference between vernacular and the traditional one. Okay. So now what happens if you see this? Now these beams or the fascias which were being made, they had some decorative art pieces. Okay. Some kind of motifs. Somewhere it might be like an auspicious emblem, which denotes, which talks about the society, their culture, their tradition. Now, if you talk about this particular architecture, what is it? Again, can you see this? It's the same Kathkhoni which I talked about, but check it out how beautifully it has been made. So it has been made as a part of the aesthetic Kathkhoni, which I was talking about in the last slide. Can you just see? Look at this Kathkhoni wall. Are you getting my point? And now look at this, the way it has been beautified out here. See how the beautification is being done. Again, the roof, which is the slopey one, okay, the flat one, okay, not the slopey, but the way it has been beautified. Now, there is another thing also, as I told you, that technology has been embedded into it now. So it's an evolution of old customs, old architecture, got into the traditional. Now in the traditional, it is again, now it is going from the traditional to the modern architecture, but still carrying the same genesis, or you will call the same DNA of our uh, uh, vernacular architecture. Okay. And now you check this out. This is called the Trombe walls. Trombe walls is what? It's very interesting exercise. I mean, it's very interesting technology to look into. Now these are like glasses, okay, a tinted glasses kinds. So now thick tinted glasses. In this glass, you have got direct sunlight coming in, right? So sunlight passes through the glass, goes inside, and towards the evening, when the sun sets down, towards the evening, this tinted glass, it is like it changes the color, okay? Or even if it is not changing the color, what happens towards the end of the day, that it start getting, it start getting cold the day. So the property of the glass is like it starts contracting. So because of that, the heat which is already inside, okay, so there is a gap between the wall and the glass. There is a gap. So the air which is already inside, it gets entrapped. It cannot go out. And because of that layer, that warm layer, this wall inside, that remains warm. If this glass wasn't there, then relatively this glass, this wall will be more cooler faster, and more it will be warmer faster. It will be more cooler faster. So to avoid that, they have just created one more layer of so-called the air layer, layer of an air, okay, through this glass. It's a very interesting. It is basically, if I talk about the entropy is one, or the greenhouse effect, that's how they put together. So you would like to check it out, what greenhouse effect or the entropy is, in case there is any issue, if you are not understanding that. So that is the phenomena they have taken, and they are integrating with the architecture. Okay, then talking about this is again, as I said, it's thick walls. Just imagine how thick these walls are with the local stones which are found next to the river bank. Okay, the round one, and they shred them, put them together, gravels to the big stones, and join them together. Then, and it becomes a part of their architecture, which is seamlessly integrating with the surrounding. If you see how it looks like one of the part of that mountain only. So these are things like very subconsciously or unconsciously, they've just developed it over the period. And picking up from our old architecture, the primitive one. Okay. Now, this is something which I thought I must take you through because, well, why I'm giving you this particular slide, that it is of Almora. I mean, this is from Uttaranchal, and I belong to Uttaranchal, right? My family shifted long time back, around say 55, 50 years back, shifted to metro cities in Delhi, long time back, 50, 60 years almost like. So now what? I mean, I'm I'm more of a metro product, okay. But still, what I do whenever I get a chance, I go to my native. Okay, see, hardly hardly I get to see anyone over there because there's no one staying. But still, I go and just try to look what exactly my predecessors or my ancestors used to be, how they were, where they have come from. So I just try to figure it out. I will take my camcorder or something. I just try to document things. So very few things which I mean, there are a lot of things which I could understand, and I grabbed it over here, which I would like to share. Okay, the way these roofs which have been made, they've been made out of the slates, and slates are overlapped on top of each other like this. So from the top, the bottom one will be in the lower side. Again, it goes lower side. Again, goes lower side. So what is happening? It's an array which is coming like this, and it is overlapped. So that water falls here during the rain, like rainy season, water falls and it comes completely down. It never seeps in. It never seeps in from here. So that's how it has been used, because slate is found in an abundance manner in the Uttaranchal. So that's how it is used. Not the terracotta or something which is used, but this one. Secondly, if I talk about the architecture, all of them will have the same functionality. All the house, whether small or the big, it is kept in mind of the functionality first, and then after that, the beautification has been taken forward, or aesthetic part is taken forward. Now, what is the functionality? Let me just take you through there first. Okay. In this one, if you see this house, all the houses will be like this. If you see, all the houses are like this in the array. Can you see that? Because it gives you three things. A, this gives you the sense of binding, number one. Okay. Second, it gives you a community sense, the community feeling. Okay. Third, it's easy to relate. It's like a status symbol at the same time, that hamara gaon itna bada hai types. This is also one of the part. Okay. Then there is another thing also out here, like in the like in my native. Okay, like we have this tigers. Okay, we have got leopards. They keep coming to the house, and tigers especially. Okay, they keep coming, and they are in the jungle. Actually, it's the middle of the jungle. So behind there is a huge mountain range which is completely jungle. In the front there is a river flowing, and there's a small hills in the front. So that's the kind of scenery I've got. So I'm just talking about my own. So in this, so what happens if one tiger comes in this area in the porch? So one person is awake, can see, and he can shout, and all people will wake up and they will shout, and tiger will run off. Okay. So usually tiger, they come to pick the cattles, to some cattles and all, maybe goats or sheeps and all. So that's how they come for as a food. But this is one of the way. Okay. Now let me talk about this house. In this house, I talked about this roof. Okay. Then on the top, this is this is called the chalk. These staircase which is going up, this is called chalk. It goes up. Okay. Now, why it is like that? So that there is a clear demarcation that the top is for the living of the human beings and the bottom is for some other purpose. Okay, so there are two distinctions of the houses having this. Very functional. Why is it so? I will give you the example. So this on the right hand side, can you see? Oh, sorry. So on the right hand side, this I've demarcated, and on one on the left hand side, these two doors are there. So these two doors are basically small rooms. Okay, so there is a one small room on the right hand side, this, and behind that there's another small room. So two room on the right hand side here and two room on the left hand side behind. Okay, one after another. On the left hand side, it will be everywhere. Huh? It's the same pattern everywhere in all the houses, small to big. On the left hand side, you will have the rear side of the small room will have a kettles. Which one? Hen, rabbits, goats, sheeps, calves, and the cows. Those kind of, which are like very vulnerable kind of kettles. Those will be there in the rear portion. In the front portion on the ground floor on the left hand side, this will be the portion for buffaloes. Only the buffaloes will be seen in the front one, in the front room. Very interesting. Why? Everywhere. Why? The reason is because tiger or the leopard, when they come, they try to avoid buffaloes. क्योंकि ये माना जाता है, हमारी मान्यता है कि जो भैंस है, जो बफेलो है, दैट इज यमराज का एक वो है, यमराज का क्या बोलते हैं उसे, वाहन है. ठीक है. And it is also be seen that tiger always try to avoid buffalo. It's a nature. Even if you see in the National Geographic, you will get to see that. Okay. So that's how it is like a protection shield for the kettles which are vulnerable in the rear house, in the rear room. Now come to the right hand side. In the right hand side, the first room will be for the newly born babies and the mothers. Okay, because that time they're very vulnerable. They're very they need the complete hygiene. So less interaction of the people should be there. Okay, so that's how these mother and the baby, they are kept in the first room. Okay, after the baby takes the birth, or when the woman is in her menstruation period, that time she will be here. Okay, for 3-4 days. And behind that in the rear room, there will be crops, foods, grains, cereals. They will be stocked, they will be stored. On the top, now this room, the complete chalk, which is like a lobby kind of an area, there the people will be sitting, where the meeting will be keep on happening. Okay, and people, they will talk, chat, whatever. And inside, then you will have kitchen, which is on the right hand side, and the left hand side will be the sleeping room, whatever, this rooms and all will be there. So that's the formation, or that's the layout of this architecture is throughout. Everywhere you'll get to see the same. Now the wall, if you see how this wall is, again the same as I told you. It's those out of the stones, shredded ones. Okay, and these stones put together made a thick wall, so that during this winter time, it's a big protection to the family people who are staying there. Okay. Now, how this has been taken forward? This entire has been taken forward in this manner, where tourists are being they are being made lucrative to come and stay over there. Okay, where it is having the same flair of the old vernacular architecture, yet very traditional and the modern at the same time, with the all facilities equipped inside, Wi-Fi to everything. So that's how it is being made nowadays, where people are making their resorts and all. Okay, so this is something which I wanted to tell you about the vernacular architecture so far. If you have got any question, please unmute yourself, okay, and ask me the question, or I will tell you. And this is the video which kind of summarizing the entire which I've spoken so far. Okay. Anyone has any question?
Yeah, I think it's a very informative PPT that you've shown, Raj, because this is a very important topic that we need to understand. Because
Yes.
most of the buildings that are getting made these days, they do not take into account the natural environment. And every building you see around any big city, they all look the same. They do not consider कि ये गर्मी वाला, यहाँ बारिश ज़्यादा होती है, यहाँ humidity है या कुछ है. They are all just making the same buildings, and then they are using artificial means to either heat it or warm it or insulate it. So it's a environmental disaster in a way, that when you do not consider the natural environment while making a built environment, and then you have to take help of the artificial means, and you use extra electricity, use extra resources to do the same thing which the people traditional people were doing it in a very simple and a very effective manner. So this is something that we need to understand and get it across to the students also.
Absolutely. I will just give you an example. I think the best example of the worst design I've ever seen, I'm underlining.
Yeah.
Best example of the worst design I've ever seen is NID Kurukshetra, where the new building has been made by, I don't know who the architect is. He should be killed. I will tell you the reason. I will tell you the reason. The reason is, I was like shocked to see when I went inside, the classrooms which have been made, okay, the windows are permanently fixed. Glass windows, they're permanently fixed, and there are ACs which are on the top, the roof, the ceiling AC one, okay, the cascade ACs, these are there. So which means the classroom will be in the AC throughout. Number one. So there is no source of natural light. There is no source of natural fresh air, ventilation, okay, or the fresh air, while it is in the middle of the fields. At least for 3-4 kilometers, you just get to see a lovely, beautiful, green, lush patch. It is right in the center there. And that idiot architect, he has just screwed it up completely. The reason is because what will happen, first of all, how much is the electricity will get consumed, number one. A. B, tomorrow, and how much is the summer will be there for 4 months, 5 months maximum, or 6 months maximum. Forget it. Okay, 6 months maximum. After that, what? People want to enjoy that rain. People want to enjoy that winter's time. उनको चाहिए वो विटामिन डी वगैरह चाहिए, but nothing has been talked. And
I very strongly feel about this topic, and I've mentioned it, I think, a lot of time to other teachers also. And it's a very, very important thing. We need to understand. अब आप शिमला में जाके buildings देखो, क्योंकि the same kind of buildings जो दिल्ली में बन रही हैं, तो climate इतना फर्क है, वहाँ पे requirement इतनी फर्क है, and you making the same sort of buildings just because the architects feel कि ये आजकल trend में है, जी आजकल ऐसा बन रहा है. You look around any city, you have these huge fixed glass windows these days. Every one of them has fixed glass. Why? मतलब आपको fresh air नहीं चाहिए? पुराने घर होते थे, एक जाली वाली खिड़की होती थी, एक शीशे की खिड़की होती थी, some even had wooden windows, frames, shutters. But अब आप देखो कि बस एक वो fixed glass लगा देते हैं, and then you put a some shade or something in front of it, because you can't even open the curtains because आपके साथ वाले अंदर देख रहे हैं आपके घर में क्या हो रहा है. So there is privacy की तरफ से problem है, ventilation की problem है, heating की problem है, but people just don't care.
एंड द वर्स्ट इज कि जो वर्कशॉप है, वर्कशॉप में जब ये लगाया हुआ है एसी, यार वर्कशॉप के अंदर में जब सॉडस्ट जो होगा, वो सॉडस्ट कहाँ जाएगा? एसी को पूरा ब्लॉक कर देगा. आई मीन ये तो बेसिक्स है. आई एम जस्ट सरप्राइज्ड टू सी कि हाउ कैन समवन डू दिस काइंड ऑफ अ डिजास्टर. It's actually a disaster. So someone has actually not noticed. Someone has just put the pen.
Yeah, it's very sad actually, and this is something that we need to actively work on.
Yes.
It's a matter of educating the client also. Clients को भी समझ नहीं होती है. They feel कि okay, मेरे साथ वाले का घर ऐसा बना है, बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है, मेरा भी ऐसा बना दो. So
True.
sometimes you need to inform your client also that this is not a good idea. We need to think beyond this भेड़ चाल. This is basically just भेड़ चाल.
भेड़
एक
चाल,
आइडिया आ
बिल्कुल.
जाता है और वो जी आजकल तो सब बड़ा बड़ा ग्लास विंडोज बना रहे हैं, चलो हम ग्लास विंडोज बनाते हैं. आपके आजकल वुडन बन रहा है तो चलो वुडन बना देते हैं. बट यू नीड टू कंसिडर योर स्पेसिफिक रिक्वायरमेंट्स एंड योर स्पेसिफिक रिस्ट्रिक्शंस. उसके अकॉर्डिंगली आपको करना चाहिए. एंड I'm quite opposed to this idea. Yeah, somebody say.
Ma'am, can I add on to few points in this?
Please,
Actually,
Rajita.
yes, thank you, sir. First of all, actually, we as Design Jatra, I was working with an architect. So basically, our firm, what it does is that we work in the rural areas, mostly in the rural areas, and we work in the sustainable. So at the rural areas also, I have worked with tribal communities to design, and because I was working with an architect, and that time we wanted to just take care of the houses in aesthetical as well as in technical manner. So I realized one thing at some point at the rural areas, when the city people used to buy the land and they wanted to build the houses, that time, see, there is nothing to pinpoint anyone, but as our earthy materials also stands a value and a very strong value. So we
Yes,
can
yes,
make
of
the
course.
structure also with it. So people are very much having 2% of the knowledge regarding the material, and when we said that we are going to use cow dung and mud, and then even hair, human hair, और जो नारियल का काथा नहीं रहता है वो भी, and even good we are going to use, and even neem patta. So that time one of the client fired us because of this thing that we are not using Ambuja cement.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it is like then we left the project because we believe in working with the people who understand this and who value such kind of a stuff.
True.
So people are unaware of this, and the majority role is played by media, where they are showing such kind of ads ke jisme se unka bhi, I can say, profit nikal raha hai. That is so quite but obvious, but there are a lot of political things are also related to such kind of an issue. So as I said, I pinpoint anyone, but as everyone are using RCCs, everyone are हर कोई अभी TW teak wood का जो भी हम लोग wood use करते हैं, very small example. तो तभी के टाइम पे जब भी ब्रिटिशर्स थे, उन्होंने जब भी दे स्टार्टेड मेकिंग शीट्स एंड एवरीथिंग, जो अपना ड्राफ्टिंग शीट्स रहता है, तभी टीक वुड का वुड बहुत ज्यादा क्वांटिटी में था अपने लैंड पे. So they used to mention TW on the sheets, and that is why this TW concept came. How many of the even designers are aware of there are 1,000 numbers of species which you could get in India itself. तो अभी वो टीक वुड मतलब अभी ऐसा माना जाता है कि ओ टीक वुड यूज करें मतलब तो बहुत ही अच्छा लकड़ा है and everything. No, there are 1,000 type of different species which we can use right now also. So the basically जो अपना जो बायोकेमिस्ट्री है, किसके वजह से क्या उगता है, कौन से जियोग्राफिकल कंडीशन में उगता है. So all of these things are been missed. And it is a very sad thing, very sad thing. And when we are also starting up with any of the rural projects, we make sure that 12 meters of the area around we are covering up to understand the material. So उसके radar में जितना materials हमको मिल रहा है, we are only using those.
Very good. Excellent. 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 Now, I will just add something out here, my personal experience.
Yes, sir.
I had gone to Shimla, okay, in Shimla, Manali specifically. In Manali, I'd been to the old Manali. So our driver, he had taken, we were like 4 friends, okay. Oh, so we had gone there. And the driver, uska kuch commission banda hoga kisi ke saath, so he had taken us to a hotel, ki sir, ye bada acha hotel hai. And I said, nahi chahiye. क्या सर यहाँ से व्यू दिखता है. अब वो व्यू किसका दिखता था, वो हिमालय व्यू दिखता है. अब वो हिमालय व्यू क्या था कि उस बालकनी के सामने एक हिमालय का होटल था, हिमालय नाम का होटल था, तो उसका व्यू दिखता है. तो so that's how it was for him. The view is like that, okay. That's his comprehension of the Himalaya view. Anyways, so then we had taken, I said, okay, let me just go to we'll go to the old Manali, and we went to the old Manali, okay, little ahead of it, and towards where the slope is, there, that's where we said, okay, just check it. We did not go to any of the hotel. We just asked the people around if we can stay somewhere in the local, we just wanted to be a very, very, we wanted to immerse ourselves in the same vicinity rather than just being as a tourist, okay? And then we said, what is the point of us coming out here? What is our main goal? Our main goal is not to come and sleep and watch TV. So सबसे पहले तो TV वाला नहीं चाहिए अपने को. We don't want any of the TV wala. So this is one clear. So we just making the checks like this, So this is one. So we went to one of the person and he had got two, what is it called? Buildings, okay, the houses. So one was made in 1925, okay, that one house of his. It was in 1925 or 1915 or something. It was that time, yeah? And there's another one, another building which he had made. It was in 1990 or something, 90 or 85, that's all. So definitely 85 wala, that was much more urbanized as compared to the previous one. We chose to be staying in the one which was like 1925 wala. And we were mesmerized by getting inside because the roof, okay, the roof, it was all wooden. The beams were there. Even the floor was of the wood. Everything was of the wood, except the WC. Okay, so I mean everything was wood, and it was so beautiful, and we just loved it. It was a balcony in front of us, and then we could see the real Himalayas. So I said, yes, that's worth it. That's real worth it. उस वाले होटल में जो which our drivers was taking 3,500 का एक दिन का किराया था और यहाँ पे जो हमारा 350 रुपए का एक दिन का किराया था, ठीक है, because that was a family and they made us stay over there and we were with them. We were getting into their kitchen. We said कि हमें भी सिखाओ क्या करना है, like they were so thrilled to see that some people actually are taking so much of interest in our culture, and in the night we danced with them around the fire, जो इनका जो local dance होता है. Okay, so we sang in our own language, they sang in their Himachali language. So it was, so basically ideas, one should be immersive. Okay, only then you can do the justification. What I'm trying to establish out here, just taking your talk only little, ahead, that someone is designing needs to be first being immersive in the same environment, only then can do the justification to the design part. Otherwise, वही होगा कि शहर के लोग आके बोलेंगे कि आजकल ट्रेंड में चल रहा है, आजकल वोग में चल रहा है, So that's which is not correct. So let's not deviate. Let's not, do the devastation to our roots, basic environment. Just flourish it as much as we can. We should strengthen it with the modification, with the modernization, okay, but it should not be totally taken it off, in a different 180-degree tangent. No, it should not be. Okay, so, there's one more student who has come. Huh? Okay.
This is our pup. So I'm not giving her attention, so
I can understand. Okay.
For the entire time.
Okay, so wait. Where is this thing?
Yeah, we just stopped it because we were having a little bit of a discussion.
Achha. Okay, no way. Can you just put me onto the
yeah,
PPT?
You just start sharing it again.
Okay, but I cannot see my PPT.
You have to reshare it.
You have
Okay.
to
Reshare it. Share screen. Achha, okay. Oh, sorry. I'm learning now. Okay. Okay. Okay, now. So this is basically a small audio visual, which is meant for, which is a kind of a summary of what we have learned so far. It's just a 3 minutes kind of a. Can you hear the audio, please?
No, we can't hear.
Okay, wait. I think it's the same problem again.
Yeah.
No.
You got to reshare it and then,
Yeah, I know.
that option.
Stop share. Yes. Yes. Right. Is it fine now?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Vernacular architecture is an architectural style that is designed based on local needs, availability of construction materials, and reflecting local traditions. At least originally, vernacular architecture did not use formally schooled architects, but relied on the design skills and tradition of local builders. However, since the late 19th century, many professional architects have worked in versions of this style. It tends to evolve over time to reflect the environmental, cultural, technological, economic, and historical context in which it exists. While often difficult to reconcile with regulatory and popular demands of the 5 factors mentioned, this kind of architecture still plays a role in architecture and design, especially in local branches. Vernacular architecture can be contrasted against polite architecture, which is characterized by stylistic elements of design intentionally incorporated for aesthetic purposes which go beyond a building's functional requirements. This article also covers, where somewhere between the two extremes yet based upon authentic themes, the term traditional architecture. The term vernacular is derived from the Latin vernaculus, meaning domestic, native, indigenous, from verna, meaning native slave or home-born slave. The word probably derives from an older Etruscan word. In linguistics, vernacular refers to language used particular to a time, place or group. In architecture, it refers to that type of architecture which is indigenous to a specific time or place, not imported or copied from elsewhere. It is most often applied to residential buildings.
So was that informative? And I hope it summarized the entire talk of ours so far in the as pertaining to the vernacular architecture. Okay, now since it's architectural as one part which I've already covered, so now I thought why not there is another aspects also which need to be taken further, and let's make it as a topic of discussion. So there is another one which I will just talk about it a little bit. Like in Gujarat, there's a place called Sarangpur. Okay, so I remember when I'd gone there with my 30 students of ours. I'm talking about way back, long back. So 30 students, all girls, boys, we were like spread across in the village. Okay, and in the Sarangpur, there is this. It's in South Gujarat. Okay. South down Kutch side, and 156 kilometers from Ahmedabad. And this area it has got a color palette which is a brown and little red or the ochre kind of a color palette. You hardly get to see any vegetation there. There's no greenery. Hardly you will get to see. Very minimal kinds. And in between we saw there's one orchard, a lush green orchard which was there. And I mean, we all students, we were like quite mesmerized to see the, zapped, how it has been emerged. So then we understood that there is a cult which stays there, okay, in that village called Sarangpur, okay, that is sannyasis, 40 sannyasis. It's the cult of 40 sannyasis, okay. Pramukh Swami ka wahan pe ek mahal hai. It's like a palace, absolutely a big palace. So that's where they stay, sannyasis. And all these sannyasis, they are all scholars. They are all foreign, US, UK written. They can return and they can only speak either Gujarati or English, nothing else. Okay. All these people, what they have done, we just spoke to them and they said like, we have done whatever, paisa vaisa kamana tha, we are done up with all that. Now we want to serve to the society, right? So all these are like doctors, engineers, some of them like mechanical. One was the botanist. One was like a big shop. I mean, he was working only on the animals, breeds. So that's all. Veterinary doctor and all. So we got to understand that these people, they had made that orchard. Okay, they brought different kind of varieties of the mangoes to guava, you just name it, okay? And they had done the drip irrigation over there. And why drip irrigation? And that's where first time we actually saw that and we understood the meaning and the significance of it. I will just take you through it, what exactly this drip irrigation is. In earlier time when we had like earlier का अभी भी होता है, ठीक है, when we are doing our this धान की खेती या कुछ भी कर रहे होते हैं, जो भी खेती वेती हमारा जो चल रहा होता है, so we are having these canals kind of a thing, you know, which is going like this. So पानी इसमें डाल दिया जाता है and then vegetation हो रहा है, crops वगैरह हो रही हैं. Then उसके बाद थोड़ा सा और इसको आगे लेके गए कि यार इसमें से पानी को डालते हैं, let's extract it through the pipes and all, you know, इसको कहीं और से लेके इसके अंदर डाला जाएगा, ठीक है, पानी को. तो we are not only just dependent on to the rain water, we are dependent, we are extracting it from somewhere else, पानी के थ्रू pipes के थ्रू उसको यहाँ पे लाया जा रहा है, ठीक है. Then उसके बाद फिर देखा कि नहीं इसमें is it really worth, because so much of water actually gets wasted. जो पौधे की जो जड़ है, जो प्लांट का जो उसका जो रूट्स है, so the water is needed only at that place, nowhere else. If you put it onto the plant on the leaves and all, it is not so much of effective. So effective has to be only at the root, and root needs only this much, which is like 1/5 of the water which you're pouring, not even 1/5. So rest of the water is actually getting wasted, and water is a very, very precious natural resource. So renewable energy, water conservation, all these people have really been working. So now the design actually has gone beyond. Design is not only just the aesthetic, it is the social, it is more of a social cause. It is more of a something to do with for the society and the nature. So that's where the mindset of the designers has become now, and that's what one should be looking into. That's why you will get to see sustainability and, you know, a lot of other things which are being talked about nowadays. And why not? Because that's the demand of the current society today. Because otherwise we are out of natural resources in a split seconds. It's like that. So anyways, so let's going forward. So this is the drip irrigation where the pipes are laid and only one nozzle which is coming and a drop is coming out of it. Okay, which is dripping a drop. That's why it is drip irrigation. And this drop is making the root wet, and that's how the crop is coming out and the plantation is happening. If you see, that's how they've taken this from somewhere else, water, yahan tak leke aaye, they laid down the pipes from nearby area, and then that's how the drip irrigation across the field is happening, which is hectares of land. Now taken it forward, as I told you, started from here, here. Again, it's an evolution which is taking place. So now it has got into the organic farming and, you know, those kind of farming, which is like a man-made kind of a farming. And now it has got into the industrial aspect of it now. If you see that, how? So everything, it is not only just the drip irrigation is being taken place out here, but the climatic control is also getting, you know, it is taking place out here. And because of that, the entire plantation is, you can transport it from one place to another. That's how we get to see nowadays apple in the month of June, because that's what it is. So technology has taken a different leap altogether, but the DNA still remains the same of our vernacular one. Now this is a very fantastic, I mean, it's a very, very interesting example, which I'll just put it across to you. A traditional roof with pure functionality and aesthetics. Okay. Now you get to see these kulhad wala. I was talking to someone other day. This kulhad wala jo hota na, terracotta ka. So it is cut into the half, okay, the pipes, and then they laid on top of each other. It's so beautiful that water can never seep in. If you see what is happening, one the U shape, okay, one it's like a reverse side upside down, one on top of each other, and the in between part it is filled with the cement, okay, with the adhesive. So what happens through this, you can't have any of the snake or any of the insects getting in and making their own houses. It is also not possible. So it does the dual purpose. A, filling the gap. B, it is acting as an adhesive for these two tiles. Okay. So this particular phenomena or this particular style is called the monk and nun. Okay. So where this is called as a nun, the under one, and the top one is called the monk. Okay. So the monk is there, and these are like put together on top of each other, like one layer. So the layering is happening not only the sideways, but the layering is happening from top to bottom as well. So no way water can ever seep in with this kind of formation. It's a very, very simple but so effective. I think one of the most effective roof system I've ever come across. Then later on, this system has been taken forward. I mean, nowadays people are coming with different kind of technologies, with different aesthetics. You know, maybe one will be absolutely flat, then other one will be just round one, but the basic functional remains the same. Can you see that? Again, it's the same. The function remains the same. Aesthetic is changed as compared to this one to this one. So this is one of like really mesmerizing to look at that how people in the rural areas, they made their roofs, okay, with the best local material available, and then used it in a very functional, in a very intelligent manner, so that they get the best function out of it. Okay. So all these are local materials, and that's what it shows, the real vernacularity of the place, of the area, and of the people. Now, on top of it, you can do any kind of, later on, you can do any kind of embellishment or the garnishing to make it much more look funky and all. Okay. Now the next one is, this is very close to my heart, this one. Okay, this particular slide, and I would like to take you through this. Are you guys with me, all of you? Because I'm absolutely, I mean, there's no noise at all. There's no voice.
Yes.
Okay, great. Yeah,
Yes.
please give me a little, because I cannot see, because so I cannot see someone is nodding head or all. So I'm not getting any kind of a feedback from you, you know, because I can only see the slide on my laptop. Okay. So anyway, this is a very close to my heart, this particular slide. Why it is, I will give you the example. I will give you the reason behind it. As I told you that I belong to Uttaranchal. Okay, I mean, my roots are from there. My forefather and all these are from there. So here one there's one tree. Okay, this tree is here. This tree is known as, there is a noise. So there is a tree called Bhimu tree, Bhimu, Bhimu tree. Okay, Bhimu. Now, what is this tree? Okay, I will just take you through this. This tree is, it's like a boon to the Uttaranchalis. Okay, why? Because this tree has got multiple functionalities and the importance. What it does, it has got all these leaves which you get to see. Okay, it has got a tendency to have the leaves coming very fast, just grow very fast. They just grow. It's like a bamboo tree which grows very fast. Similarly, this tree also has got a tendency to have the leaves growing very fast. Okay, these leaves are so nutritious that if they are given, okay, mixed with the paddies, okay, mixed with the paddies with the to the kettles, with to the buffaloes and the cows, so you get to see the increment in the milk production, and milk is even more nutritious. So it is one of the aspect. Okay, second one, this tree has got the roots. In the roots somewhere, if a root is coming, just puncture that root, so there will be a viscous substance which comes out. It secretes from there. Okay, so you collect that substance, okay, that secretion, and you use it on your hair. It is a natural shampoo. It makes your hair so black and thick. Okay, brilliant. I mean, it's a natural. Everyone, all the ladies, they use in the natives. Okay, now I will take you to third part, the tweaks of it. The tweaks, you cut them, chop the tweaks. Okay, and these tweaks, they are put under the water, running water. Put the stone on top of it, and under the running water in the river. Okay, kept it over there for 1.5 months. Okay, so now you take out these tweaks, all these. Can you see all these tweaks are there? Okay, so now these tweaks has got a top layer. That top layer, it has become very soft now, so you easily peel it off. Very easily it gets peeled off. You put them at one point at side, like aside, keep all the entire heap, just put it aside. Now the tweak which has come inside, it's a white in color. Jo lakdi aati hai, the timber, that is white in color now. That is so amazing that just 1 inch away, if you have a flame just 1 inch away, it catches the fire. 1 inch away, it catches the fire. It is more stronger combustible than the kerosene. It is like that. I've seen that. घर में जब चूल्हा नहीं जल रहा होता है तो ladies what they do, they take this tweak, okay? इसे बोलते हैं chiluk. Chiluk is the name of this particular tweak. Chiluk is the name. They take these tweaks, they put it inside the other these whatever, you know, जो टहनिया वगैरह जो डाले होते हैं, you know, लकड़ियाँ वगैरह, other woods, and then they just light it up and the entire thing lights up. Otherwise they keep on, you know, blowing, oh, धुआं निकल रहा है, or there's so much of smoke is happening, the entire kitchen is filled with the smoke. So no, so just to avoid that, they use this, okay, in between. Just 2-3 tweaks are good enough to make the entire thing running. And even in the jungle, people when they go, they used to take it as a, अब तो खैर torch आ गया है, but पहले they used to take it as a mashal. They would take it as a torch, and it will be long lasting. So once it starts burning. So these are these tweaks, okay? That's the function of these tweaks, okay? Now coming to the top part of the one which we have peeled out, you know, that skin, the bark. Now this bark, it is of this nature. Now this bark, when it is wet, it is thrown onto the stones. उसको खूब जोर से stamp करते हैं, उसे खूब जोर से पीटते हैं, right? So when it is petrified, so all this black residual on the top that comes out, maximum it comes out. So it takes somewhat like this kind of shape. Then again it gets combed, more sharpened, more combed, and more beating happens, okay, with the other thing like a, you know, मारने वाला थापी type का, whatever it is called, okay. तो उससे किया जाता है, and then it becomes much more softer, and then the final product comes something like this. These are the fibers which come, very soft fibers. And from these fibers, these beautiful ropes are made, amazing ropes. And these ropes are used for the animals which they have, those pets or the kettles which they have at home, okay? मवेशियों को बांधने के लिए होता है. And then these are the ones which they use at home as well to tie the roofs, okay? And they are sold also, which means that other community will come, they will get some atta dal, ya, you know, something. आज हमारे यहाँ पे खूब सारी मिर्च लगी है. So some places which are having a lot of chilies, okay, in the orchard. So they will bring the chilies, they will go to one of these villages, and they will take the these ropes, and in the barter system, they will give the chilies to them. So that's how they will exchange their goods with each other. So that's how this practice used to happen. That's what I came across. But this particular barter system, though I'm not very much aware whether it's still taking place or not, but definitely this is still being done. This from the Bhimu, this raw to the final product, which goes from all these cyclic process and then goes here and comes to this part as a final one. So that's it. This is from my side. You can stop sharing my screen, or I will share. Let me take it. Okay. Where am I? Am I in Kashmir or where am I? Okay.
You are back.
Right. Okay, back. So this is idea is that with the grassroots level, we need to understand how the functionality has taken place, how people have been doing anthropologically, how person has been evolved, how the society has been evolved, okay, how it has been taken forward, which we take it to our next level, to the next level, to the next level. Wherever we go, technology definitely should be embedded, but it is to make our work easier for these basic DNAs, okay, to get them intact rather than diminishing it, rather than killing them. So that's the whole crux of my entire presentation. कैसा लगा?
बहुत बढ़िया था राज. Okay.
Thank you.
What I'm trying to get from the teachers is how are they going to use this material? No, okay, we've discussed all this. हमने बहुत अच्छी बातें सुनी है. But how are you going to take this forward? What are you going to do with this material?
करेक्ट अब अभी आ रहा हूँ मैं, आज का ही दिन था, बस ये लास्ट था, हनीमून पीरियड इज ओवर नाउ, टुडे onwards no, this gyan will be given, don't worry. But idea was for last 3 classes, idea was to sensitize it, because that's very much important. Because if देखो फिर वही पेशेंस वाली बात आ जाती है कि हम लोग तो फिर भी, आप लोगों ने तो 3 तो फिर भी कर लिए, स्टूडेंट तो शायद 1 भी नहीं करेंगे, राइट? ठीक है ना? तो मैं वही कह रहा हूँ कि हमको पहले खुद को अपने आप को बोलना पड़ेगा कि yes, it is important part of learning. Only then we can inculcate or embed in our students. Okay. Now, taking it forward कि इसको कैसे हमारे में काम आएगा. Material की मैं बात नहीं, I'm not talking about the material, how it will be used, but I'm talking about that mindset that is to be used. That's where the main crux of this entire presentation was. That's something which we do not know, but still it exists. So better we look for that existence and then we build the design on top of it. Because as a human, as a जैसे कहते हैं ना अतपके डिजाइनर में, हमारे में क्या होता है कि हम लोग सीधा जाके पेन पेंसिल पे जाके उसका एंड रिजल्ट निकाल के लेके आते हैं, है ना? वो वाली बात हो जाती है. That's what I want to emphasize on, that we should not be doing. Otherwise वो जो रुजुता ने जो बताया था कि यही प्रॉब्लम हो रहा है कि वो मेट्रो सिटी से आते हैं कि अंबुजा सीमेंट क्यों नहीं लगा रहे हो. समझ लो मेरी बात, अंबुजा लगाओ, मैं मना नहीं कर रहा हूँ, आई एम नॉट सेइंग दैट अंबुजा को मत लगाओ, बट एटलीस्ट डोंट take away that the traditional or the vernacularism of that particular place. आप strengthen करने के लिए you can keep it if you want to, I don't know if करता है, but वो एक लिमिट तक आप एक प्रोपोर्शन में, एक रेशियो में लगाओ, बट आप ये कहो कि उसको बिल्कुल ही खत्म कर दें, that is not correct. Okay, तो ये मैं बोला, आप इसको आगे कैसे लेके जाएंगे वो आज स्टार्ट होगा. आज ये स्टार्ट होगा आपकी जो एक्सरसाइज है, ठीक है? गूगल देवता को थोड़ा सा विश्राम दीजिए, ठीक है? आज आप क्या करेंगे, अपने everyone has got some or the other native as I can understand. नहीं है तो मेरे को बता दो, हाथ खड़ा कर दो. I think everyone will have somewhere the other roots attached. ठीक है? Even though you are in the metro cities for last 60-70 years, कहीं ना कहीं होगा. अगर आपके पेरेंट्स, आपके चाचा जी, ताऊ जी, मामा जी, whoever elderly people, I'm talking about those people, आप उनसे एक बार डिस्कस कीजिए. ओके, हैव अ डिस्कशन विद देम एंड ट्राई टू ब्रिंग समथिंग. उनसे पहले बात कीजिए, ठीक है? कैन यू टॉक समथिंग अबाउट आवर विलेज विच यू रिमेंबर वेरी वेल. ओके, ए फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल, तो इफ you remember when you had gone there, okay, if you go to your native, if you pick up something, you can recall yourself कि क्या था वहाँ पे. It can be a system, it can be a product, it can be an architecture, it can be one piece of the architecture, it can be a portion of the architecture, it can be part of some kind of a product, okay, which really mesmerized you, कि what exactly it was. Okay, and that you need to hand drawn. It has to be hand drawn. Sorry, no Google देवता, ठीक है? हैंड ड्रॉन है, अच्छा बनेगा, कैसा भी बनेगा, लेकिन बनाओ. एंड देन राइट इट डाउन, द फंक्शनैलिटी ऑफ इट, गेट ऑन टू इट, what material was used, what was that used for, okay, why it was used for, when it was used for, where it had started from, जो भी, whatever maximum you can. It's like a research, which I am talking about. So that what happens, you sensitize yourself. मैं देखता तो था, लेकिन मुझे पता नहीं था कि मैंने इसे क्यों देखा था. You will get away with that notion. ठीक है? ठीक है? So this is the main crux of this. I mean, that's the exercise for you. So again, it will be 3 slides. Okay, this one maximum 3 slides. 2 में हो जाए तो बहुत ही अच्छी बात है, बल्ले बल्ले है, ठीक है? Otherwise 2 slides में करो, से कोशिश करो. Like Hetal Chauhan. Hetal, are you there? You can unmute yourself. Hello, Hetal.
थोड़ा कनेक्शन वीक हो रहा था, प्लीज थोड़ा पार्डन कीजिए ना, प्लीज पार्डन.
हाँ, कोई बात नहीं. अभी सुनाई दे रहा है क्लियरली सारा कुछ?
यस.
ठीक है. हेतल, अभी जो प्रेजेंटेशन जो मैंने दिया था आपको, पूरा मतलब उसमें तो कोई इश्यू नहीं था ना कनेक्शन में? मतलब आपने देखा था वाला?
just exercise, last one exercise which you gave.
अच्छा, ओके, ठीक है. देखिए, एक्सरसाइज में मैंने जो बताया है, मैंने ये बोला है कि what you need to do, बेस्ड ऑन टुडेज लर्निंग जो भी हमारा है, आप सबका एक ना कुछ नेटिव होगा, नानी मामा कहीं ना कहीं कोई नेटिव होगा, हम सब लोगों का, राइट, सबका होगा ऑलमोस्ट। इवन इफ यू आर मेट्रो सिटी में, यू आर बॉर्न चाइल्ड मेट्रो सिटी में भी, तो भी आप क्या कर सकते हैं, आप अपने दादाजी मामा जी जो भी पापा जो भी हैं उन सबसे आप बात कर सकते हैं कि कोई ऐसी चीज जो आप रिकॉल कीजिए और हमें बताइए विच वॉज वेरी मेस्मराइजिंग फॉर यू। इट कैन बी अ पीस ऑफ आर्किटेक्चर, ठीक है, कोई पोर्शन ऑफ द आर्किटेक्चर, कोई प्रोडक्ट है जो एक अलग सा प्रोडक्ट है जो कि आपको नहीं पता, आप देखते थे जब आप नेटिव जाते थे, बट यू नेवर न्यू व्हाट द फंक्शनैलिटी ऑफ दिस प्रोडक्ट वाज, ओके, सो दे विल टेल यू। तो उसका जो सिंबल है, उसका जो एसेंस है वो क्या था उस टाइम पे, आज वो शायद एक कोने में पड़ा होगा, लेकिन एक टाइम पे वो बहुत ज्यादा महत्वपूर्ण रहा होगा, ठीक है ना। तो आप उसको लेके आने की कोशिश कीजिए और देखिए कि क्या, हेलो, हाँ,
about our native place or house.
Anything native house. I don't know if you are staying in the native place itself, then it's a great. फिर तो और चाहिए क्या? See, basically when I'm saying native means people who have come to the metro cities, तो उनका कोई माई बाप नहीं होता types, you know. That's what I'm saying. So native से ही आदमी जाना जाता है, right? मैं कैसे जाना जाता हूँ? I'm a Delhiite. I born and brought up here only. But if I talk about my roots, I'm a Uttaranchali. I'm a proud Uttaranchali. I'm a proud Kumaoni person. That's how I always say. Some people, they are Punjabis. So what do they say? कि हमारे जो जी हमारे पश्तून से हम हैं, ठीक है, बोलते हैं ना कि हम पश्तून से आए थे, हम पाकिस्तान से, सिंध से आए थे, लाहौर से आए थे जी, बोलते हैं ना हम लोग, तो वो यही होता है कि हमारे नेटिव होते हैं। तो आपको नहीं गए होंगे, you might not have been there, but you will have someone whom you can speak with and you can get something, and basis on that description you have to draw it, ठीक है,
ओके
ड्रॉ करो, उसके बारे में लिखो, एक रिसर्च करना है तो गूगल पे कर सकते, अगर मिलता है तो बहुत अच्छी बात है, बट आई डोंट वांट कि वो कॉपी पेस्ट आपने वहां से स्केच फॉर्म का उठा के कर दिया, नो, आई वांट यू पीपल टू डू दी स्केचिंग, आपको करना है। अब वो उसमें कैसे करना है, आई लीव अप टू यू। जो आर्किटेक्ट्स होंगे वो उसके 3 व्यू बना के दे देंगे जितना मैं समझ सकता हूँ, ठीक है, राइट। कोई जो टेक्सटाइल वाले टाइप के होंगे बहुत इंट्रिकेसी में चली जाएंगे, उसके फूल पत्ती वाला और उसका, तो हर एक के अपने अपने ट्रेड्स होते हैं, दैट्स गुड, आई एम नॉट सेइंग देयर इज एनीथिंग रॉन्ग, दैट्स गुड, इट्स एक्चुअली गुड। तो हर एक के अपने अपने ट्रेड्स होंगे, बट माय मेन थिंग इज दैट आई वांट टू सी दैट वन रिसर्च ऑफ योर्स, ठीक है, व्हिच takes you to the vernacularity, okay, and then if you want you can attach it कि आज के टाइम पे कंटेम्प्रेरी में वो कैसे यूज हो रहा है, okay, with the modernization, ठीक है। अच्छा, अभी क्या करें, I will just give a T point, okay, I will just cut it down here and we will go on to the exercises which were done in the last session, okay, so I think we should go ahead with the same now.
Yeah,
quickly.
about that, I think we have officially we have 31 people. So taking into account, I don't know, maybe all of them are not here, but even so, we have limited time. So I would want everyone to stick to a minimum time that is there. Otherwise, people miss out, and then it's not a nice idea.
Correct.
If you want, I can put up a timer, and we can time you for 2 minutes. Not more than that. Okay?
Quickly. Yeah.
So before that, I'm just going to show you a list. Are we going to go center wise?
Just put a timer. Otherwise, they don't adhere to it.
I'll do that. So I'm going to put a timer for 2 minutes for everyone. So you got to finish within that time. उससे पहले कर लोगे तो plus points for that. ठीक है? So वो जैसे एक वो जोक है ना कि इंटरव्यू में है कि आप शॉर्टर सेंटेंस में कैसे कमरे में घुस सकते हो, वो वाला जोक होना चाहिए. So we want you to get your idea across in the minimum amount of time and effort. Okay? So let me just share the list with you. So this is the list. I'm just showing it once. I'll be announcing the names. Okay? So just for you to understand कि कौन सा आपका किसका नाम पहले आ रहा है, किसका बाद में आ रहा है. So we starting in अंधेरी, going on to औरंगाबाद, भुवनेश्वर, चंडीगढ़, ऐसे चलेगा. So everyone will get their ample time. ठीक है जी? Chalo, so we start with Aarti from Andheri, Mumbai.
अंधेरी ठीक है.
And your time now.
Is my screen sharing started?
Yeah, it has, but we can just see your browser.
Zoom thing. Yeah. Okay.
So please be prepared with your PPTs. Have them open.
Yes. I thought today again it will be random, so I was not prepared for that and
No worries.
left it like that only, so that's why. Okay, so my PPT is on, like I missed the last part in the class, but I still have through the thing on the video. So I have done a research on flappers fashion, which was originated in 1920s. So it was like flapper generation where Western young Western women, like, you know, they had short skirts and they had knee length skirts, and it was a very straight fit garment where they didn't had you can say a bra kind of a stuff. So they used to have a flat bust. Okay, so they used to, what they used to do, the heavier person who was there on the bust size, they used to flatten their bust with wearing a tight corset kind of a stuff. Okay, and they used to tighten that area with a flat in that era there were flat bras which were originated, so they won't die with that. Okay, so this was a type of bras what they were wearing at that time. So this is something which got popular in those area, and later on this was the style which was developed. I will just remove this. Okay, so later on, so this was the style which was developed. So the mass production of clothing was done on these fabrics, all the fabrics which were generated, and the revolutionary changes started happening to this. So overall showed all the flat.
Next. Quickly.
Yeah,
fast.
sure.
Yeah.
Okay. It's not moving. Okay, so interpretation and fashion influences, on that line I have chosen these garments which were now in current trend, and the flat look how it shows. And this is a photo shoot piece done by some designer, so I had just shown this in 2 to 3 slides. Like it was more detailed, but I had to cut down, so this was my little 5 slide ka work what I have taken on the flappers. Okay, so
Okay, thank you so much, Aarti.
Thank you so much.
yeah, I'm just cutting it down.
Minus 10 points because of two extra slides.
Okay, I'm not able to stop it. Wait.
Yeah.
Did it stop?
Yeah.
Yeah, stop.
We have Srushti.
There's so much to talk about, so it's like, you know,
Yeah,
it's
Aarti has run out of time. So
Yeah.
Srushti from Aurangabad, are you here? Srushti, are you here? I don't think she's here.
She's here, ma'am.
Sorry?
Okay then. Where is she? Srushti, are you here? I can't see her anywhere.
Next
The
वाले
next-
को करें. हाँ, next वो करते हैं, फिर she can join
Next
later
one
इसके बाद.
is Siddharth. I don't think Siddharth is here. So when we
Okay.
have Chandigarh, Divya, I think I saw you somewhere.
Yes, ma'am, I'm ready.
Okay, let's begin.
Yes, so my research is on the high-waisted denim, high-waisted denims which were in trend. So I would be sharing pictures and not a PPT because my phone doesn't support that system. So these are the pictures which I wanted to share, that how the high-waisted denims were in style in 80s and 90s, and then they came back again in 2016. So we can see a clear picture of Kajol and Parineeti Chopra, and we can see that how the style was revived. So I have few pictures which would be explaining it more better. and talking for me as well, that you know how the style had revived. So I have this very basic information which I would like to share with everybody, which I found on internet also, that the high-waisted denims or the high-waisted jeans were actually made for the mothers, the pregnant females, to have them, to give them a comfort fit around their waist, so that you know, they could you know, have a comfort fit when they were moving around. So denims were basically made high-waisted to give that comfort, but then later on it became a style statement. And this is how in today's scenario it is very smart, and we can see that, you know, we can style a lot of things with by tucking in the shirts. And in these days also, from 2016 till date, the high-waisted denims are still in trend, and they are the most comfortable ones. There was a time when we had all the low-waisted denims, but I am sure all of us would agree that the high-waisted are more comfortable than those. So this was it. My research was about it.
Thank you so much for finishing in time.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so Eti from Chandigarh, are you here, Eti? Can't hear you all that well.
Am I audible now?
No.
Yeah, but you seem to be sitting in a box or something.
Yeah, it's very alienated kind of a voice which is coming.
I think the room is quite empty because I do not want any background. So I think I'll shift room. That should clear up a lot of things.
Yes, much better now. Now it's much better. Correct.
Is it better now?
Yeah.
Far.
Yes.
Please.
There are lot many things to absorb my voice now. I'll be sharing my screen now, and I have a very small presentation. Okay, so I have named it "What Goes Around Comes Around," because basically you wanted us to kind of show that how items keep coming and then going and then coming back again. So I took neon as my topic. So if I were to tell you about neon, neon comes from the Greek word which means new one, and neon presented itself in 1898 when British chemist Sir William Ramsay and Morris W. Trevor discovered neon, and it appeared in the periodic table as number 10. Then till the 1960s, neon was only present in signboards as flashy lights and telling people that you should, attracting people to come inside shops and everything. But in 1962, after Marilyn Monroe's suicide, Andy Warhol, a famous artist of that time, he went ahead and painted Marilyn Monroe in very bright neon colors. So as you can see, this painting is very iconic. All of us know it. And then in the 80s, neon came actually into the mainstream fashion, and you could buy these bright colored clothing. The most famous were the jelly shoes and the windbreaker jacket that became famous in the 80s. Then the 90s, the color neon went underground. It was all the red, pinks, oranges, yellows, greens. They became the favorite of underground rave scene, very popular with club kids. They made their appearance in makeup, glitter, glow sticks, and it essentially meant that freedom from your boring, dull life. It was more about wild fun and party.
The time is up.
Then,
Okay, got it. We got the gist of it by showing one slide is actually very informative.
Go the next slide and just finish it. Khatam kar do.
Yeah, it's a very good one.
And in 2000, it appeared again, and Kim Kardashian was the face of it. She wore it at least 5-6 times in 1 week, and it was back on the scene. And this is my last slide, mood board on what neon stands for now. It's for highlighting, and it's just to making a statement, a fashion statement. That's it.
Very nice. Thank you so much. So
Thanks.
Pooja from Dharwad is the next person. Pooja, are you there?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I'm here.
Okay. So we're ready for you.
I'll just share my screen.
Please do.
Share, no? Yeah. Hello, everyone.
Yeah. We can see us.
Yeah, please carry on.
Yes.
Yeah, we can hear you.
I've taken dhoti as my topic. Yes, it's very short. Like I took dhoti because it starts right from draping. Draping was the first costume, like I invented cloth. So draping was the first thing and dhoti is one of that. So we have taken dhoti to such a big extent, like I just want to show that, like it was dhoti like this, which was used. And then first came into very movies like the Sergeant and all these old movies during 90s. And then it's again back into fashion again like this. That's all.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Very nice. Very nice.
Very nice. Beautiful. Very apt, very clear, very straight statement. Fantastic. Good.
I'll just stop my screen share.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Pooja. That
Thank you
was
very much. Yeah.
very lovely.
Yeah.
So Sneha from Gurgaon is the next person.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, carry on.
Yeah, she has to stop sharing first. Yeah.
She has to stop.
Yeah.
Yes, see.
Can you all see it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So my topic is on kimono. It was in the 17th century. That's the first image of how it used to be. And it used to be called Japonse rok in the 17th century. And it was just used by men and women both. Then it was kind of encouraged in the Meiji period. That was in the 18th century. People wanted, they wanted women to wear it more. So, yeah. But later on, it came into Europe and a lot of people started seeing kimono and getting inspired by it. This is around 2016, 14, 15, 16, when it became like kimono jackets became a thing with wide sleeves. So this is in the street style during fashion weeks. And okay, why is it not going? Yeah, and now in the 2020 runway shows, you will see a lot of designers like Jean Paul, Chloe, all of them have started getting the same kimono, the proper wrap outfit back into the trend. So it's becoming very trendy all over again. Yeah, that's it.
Good. Fantastic. Fantastic.
All right. Let me
Then
just
we have Kavita.
stop sharing.
Yes, ma'am, I'm here.
Okay, let's start.
Yeah.
Hi, everyone. The topic of my today's presentation is frills and ruffles, a helical fashion. Now, let's have a historical look at the ruffles trend. During the era of 18th to 19th century.
Can you put it on the landscape mode, because we're seeing a very small slide. Just
Okay.
turn it around. Yeah, this is much better.
Let's have a look at historical look at the ruffles trend. During the era of 18th to 19th century, flowing gowns full of lace frills and ruffles were prevalent, like Victorian clothing styles. Moving on to the next slide. There was a hike in the demand of frills and ruffles on gowns, men's and women's shirts in the 19th century. Punk fashion style was also flourished in this era. Even ruffles and frills were very popular in Bollywood fashion too. Now, moving on to the current fashion, ruffle mania, the current trends. From the mid-19th century till today's 21st century, the use of ruffles had taken a great leap. Like in ruffle saris, ruffle dresses, ruffle sleeves and sari blouses. Even in ruffle and frills are used in fashion accessories too. Ruffles can be seen on the ramp, and it is beyond the trend also. You can see in the last pic, that pink one pic. So by this presentation, I have tried to represent the fashion cycle by means of transition in the use of frills and ruffles over the stages. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kavita.
Good. Fantastic.
Okay. Then we have Anmol from Ghatkopar. Anmol, are you here?
Yes, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
First of all, I'm really sorry. I think I have misinterpreted the entire assignment. I have made I found three styles which evolved during the time, but the good part is I incorporated everything in 3 slides. So I'm just
Chinta mat karo.
share my
Chinta
screen.
mat karo. Don't worry.
So yeah, this is the first style, fox fur. So this is basically artificial fur, which was invented in around 1930s, and now this exists in like something like this. This is we still use it. And next is cat eye frames, which was invented by an actress and a filmmaker called Altina. She actually invented it because she felt that in 1930s the styles which were there were very boring, so she invented the style, and this looks something like this nowadays. Next is corsets. In 20th century, women used to wear such corset because they wanted to because they wanted to give their body a good fit, I'm really sorry. I'm
No,
just
carry on.
and yeah, this looks something like this nowadays.
Right.
That's
So,
it.
okay. So where's the issue? I think you've understood the exercise quite good. Yeah,
So
you've done a
actually,
good
I
work.
did not understand. Actually, I thought that I'm
This is
really
much
sorry
good.
today. I'm just
What happened? You lost it today, huh?
slightly hesitant. I don't
Yeah.
know why.
You've done a good job. Yeah. In
I'm
fact,
just
3
in
slides.
hurry.
No, it's okay. It's okay. You've done your job. You've understood what you've done. And
And good
actually, you've
work.
done extra than the others. You've done 3 things. People were just doing single things.
No, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Absolutely
Next
fine.
person is
Okay.
Swati. Swati from Bangalore, HSR.
Yeah, I'm here. Hi.
Swati.
Hi, Swati.
Hi. So I have also done on that high-waisted denim. So I think the verbal part of it is almost covered. So it was also called as mom's jeans. So you can see it in the 90s, the sitcom series like Friends and other.
Can you run your
even
PPT? Can you make it
yeah,
full
yeah. Yeah, so this is the interpretation
It is full
currently. It's
screen.
something
Can
in
you make it as a
between.
full screen? Possible
Oh
for
yeah,
you to
sorry,
make it as a
sorry.
full screen?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it is
Yeah,
something
take it
in
to the first
between.
slide. Take it to the first
Okay.
slide, please.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, please. Much better.
Yeah, so this is high waist during the 90s, early 90s. You can also see it in Hollywood and in even the sitcoms like Friends. And this is the interpretation now, and it's something a fit between skinny and boyfriend. So I think the verbal part of it is already covered by somebody else, and I've done something on fanny pack also. Can you see this? Can you see the screen?
Yeah.
Yeah, so fanny pack is something which was there in the late 90s, and it was used by travelers so that nobody will snatch their bag, and there won't be robbery. Somebody snatch their money and go away. Okay, so just a few images. So this was during the 90s, and this is how it is used now, and it's a fashion statement currently.
Wow, that's interesting. Very nice. Very nice.
Okay, thank you. I'll just
Good.
stop sharing.
Thank you,
Thank
Swati.
God I had a backup.
Okay, so the next person is Pratibha from Hyderabad.
Am I audible?
Yeah, you
Hi,
are.
ma'am. Good evening, good evening, everyone. So my topic is skirt. Like you can see here, there is the fashion cycle of skirt is based on the 3 topics, like according to the waist, according to the length, and according to the full length. Like we all can see, I can say that the skirt exists since ages. It's not invented in 90s, and it's not. If we are going a little back in the history, also the first drape is actually we can say that skirt is actually invented by the first drape, like when the early ages, when the early man drape lion's cloth or any animal skins
Animal
or
cloth.
hides. Yeah, animal. No, not animal cloth. Animal hides onto their body. So for that, I got this idea that these are the different stages of the skirt, and there is the interpretation. Like we can see, I didn't research a lot of about the in early ages, but I did a research when the era that I have seen, like in the 90s, the mini skirts were in style, and even now also, like after 10 years you can say that, or after 15 years you can say that it is also existing in the fashion. And even same again, the floor length skirts were in fashion like in early 20s. Like you can see here some of the movie clips, and right now also it is existing, and with the same style, like earlier it was worn with the kurtis and a jola bag, or with a lot of traditional jewelry, and the same represented here. That's it.
Thank you.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay, then we have Misha. Misha, have you started it? Yeah.
She must be on mute, I guess.
I don't know. Misha, we can't hear you.
Oh, sorry.
She's on mute, I guess, right?
Yeah, I was on mute. So
Yeah,
I
thought
have
so.
taken Indian Bride. So in 1920, you can see lace, pearls, and ivory saris. Then Nutan era came where we can see crimson silk saris and full of.
This is Nargis. This is not.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Where is Nutan? I was trying to
Nutan era
figure
was also there. Anyways, then in 1960, we can see a lot of Muslim dominating style where Garara, Shararas were there with layered jewelries. And then Sridevi era came, and pink was the main color. DDLJ hangover was also there, where we have seen golden lehengas brides were wearing. Then red came back after Jodha Akbar, so everybody is liking that particular color. Now we talk about Anushka Sharma. Everybody is fond of her lehenga, where we can see a lot of embroidery work. And the only thing that did not change was the emphasis on the femininity of brides.
Okay.
Good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, so who's next? We have Akshay. Akshay from Jodhpur. Akshay, we can't hear you.
I think he's also on the mute, if I'm not wrong. Akshay,
yes,
are you there?
Yes,
Yeah, we can't hear you.
I think you were on mute, right?
Yes.
Thought so. Yeah.
So I have taken the journey of sheath dress. So it first was in ancient Egypt, but they were not very movable and accessible while working. So
flexible.
In ancient Greek, it was like a bit similar as a sheath and shift dress. And then in Victorian period, there's a vest jacket also similar to the sheath dress. Then it shifted to it came in 90s after 5,000 years as a musical bandana land, sheath gown in dark town. Sorry, sheath down likh diya. So it started as a sheath gown. Then in paper style also, it was not ekdam fitted sheath dress, but it was a similar style. Then it's a style which was in every fashion term, which we divide in 10 years. In 30s, it was with princess line skirts and the adorned sleeves, then with raglan sleeves as a sailor dresses. And then in 60s, it was with the like fitted vest and princess line. Then Calvin Klein launched with the jackets. In 80s, it's become a formal dress and for the office wear and all. Then in 90s, again come with a jacket similar to Calvin Klein 1970s. Then it got its new name in 2000, mini dress. And then in 2010, we started calling, it was very common dress, one piece, like for party wear. So we started calling it one piece. And nowadays we can many style with fabric manipulation and all. Thank you.
Thank you.
So Akshay, just one line I will just put out here.
Yes.
See, with your presentation now, it seems like you are giving the journey of the fashion, Are you getting the point? Like from here it has gone. But I don't know, maybe you're right. But as an onlooker, what I wanted a clear statement saying that this is the fashion, it got revived, that's how it has come in this modern context. That's. But in your presentation, it seems like it's like it's like a linear thing which is happening, a progression. So is that what you wanted to say,
So
or
I thought that कि जैसे आप
okay?
कल बोल रहे थे कि बार-बार आता जाता है, तो it came, but
अच्छा, okay.
चीजें हमेशा रहा है, मतलब changes
अच्छा,
with the time, with the style, but कभी same नहीं रहा, but change होता रहा. So
वो
that was a
चीज
progress,
ठीक है,
तो वो progress दिखाई थी.
प्रोग्रेस देखा है इसके अंदर, ठीक है। आई जस्ट वांट बिकॉज मुझे एक ऐसा था कि भी जैसे जैसे बताया ना, लॉन्ग लेंथ वाली जो स्कर्ट थी, राइट, जो 2010 में था, वो 2020 में दोबारा आया। गेटिंग माय पॉइंट? तो इस तरीके से जैसे साइकिल हुआ, तो मैं वही कह
I
रहा था
thought
कि ऐसा कुछ है क्या?
I thought every dress is in every time, but वही वाली बात है, कब वो highlight में होती है और कब नहीं होती. It changes with the time. It don't change directly. So I
Yeah,
thought to show that
can
journey.
I put something here? Basically,
Yes.
we need to understand the brief very well. The whole idea
Yeah.
is that we have to adhere to the brief. There would be, everybody has their own thoughts and processes and all that. But what we need to keep into concern is that the brief has to be carried out well. मतलब कि सबकी justifications तो होंगे, everything is right. But आगे से we just adhere to the briefs, because yours is not that strong. But according to the brief, it goes a little in the other direction.
ठीक
Not
है, वैसे
absolutely
ठीक है,
wrong. Yes.
agree with you.
Okay, the next person is Neha from Pune.
Yes, miss. I'll
Okay.
just share my screen. Okay. Ma'am, is my screen visible?
Yeah, just turn your phone around, put it in landscape mode.
Yeah.
Yeah, now it's
Okay. So, ma'am, unfortunately, my PC isn't working, so I just have this collage of the design. Yeah, so basically I have researched on the different types of sleeves. So this is a topic which is of great interest for me. I've always done this with my students as well. In the Victorian era, these were the different type of sleeves which were in fashion. And into my collage, if you can see in the recent fashion as well, these same sleeves have come back. The Lego mutton, the flared, the bulgy, huge looking sleeves. And it's a very nice, basically gives a very designer kind of a look. So this is one topic which is of great interest for me, and I have observed it that when I have done it with my students, they also find it very interesting to learn this. So this is the basic slide we have on my phone. So I'm sorry that I don't have a complete presentation. I've just made a small collage of the. It starts from 1890s and then it goes to like 2000 and the recent years basically. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, thank you, Neha.
Yes. Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
So